So for the few weeks here, we're parking on the wholesome mind, the beautiful mind. What is this? And just to unpack it a little bit farther, we're, me, I picked this. I'm drawing from a teaching in the Abhidhamma, and it describes this collection of mental factors that all arise at the same time. They come together. They're holding hands and come to the party together. In fact, they're handcuffed to each other. They all co-arise. And these 14 mental factors are what constitutes the wholesome mind. And the Pali word is kusala, and it's we almost need to bring it into the English. Kusala often gets translated as wholesome, can get translated as skillful. It's it's a beautiful mind. So these 14 mental factors, I talked about two last week, faith and mindfulness. And this week I'll talk about non-greed, non-ill will, and then non-ill will dialed up is metta. So today it'll be non-greed, non-ill will, and metta. And the other, and I'll have to say, in terms of practice and understanding, these actually are the most important. The faith, the mindfulness, non-greed, non-ill will. Then we have metta, and we also have balance, an even mind, balance and tranquility, then lightness, softness, flexibility, uprightness, proficiency, and then hiri-ottappa. These are two Pali words, and these two Pali words really cover our conscience. Hiri is has a looking back, so it's more the compunction, like the prick of the heart, like oof, I could have been more patient, or I didn't really need to share that. That's hiri, and ottappa is looking forward. It's when you catch yourself, like, oh, I'm I'm wanting to gossip, and I'm wanting to have this cheap connection with this person by sharing something that's not mine to share. Something like that. This is ottappa, looking forward, where you catch yourself. So these are the 14 mental factors that co-arise together. And this, this collection of mental factors that co-arise and that make up the wholesome mind, the beautiful mind, are, are what we bring when we're bringing wise attention to whatever our experience is. And wise attention is there's no way to say how important wise attention is. I'm at a loss for words. So I will go to the Buddha because he talks about it so much. And there's one passage where you get the you get the impact of the import of how paramount wise attention is. And this is in the middle length discourses, and it's the second sutta, Sabba Sabba Sutta. Sabba Asava is how you'd say it, Sutta, all the taints. And it's towards the beginning. And the Buddha says, practitioners, he's actually talking to the monks, but I'll change it so that it really lands more for us. Practitioners, I say that the destruction of the taints is for one who sees, or for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and see. So destruction of the taints is a description of full awakening, full enlightenment. So full enlightenment, someone that experiences the destruction of all of the defilements, all the impurities in the mind, is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and see. And the Buddha often explains himself. Who knows and sees what? Wise attention and unwise attention. If we really come to understand more and more fully what wise attention is, how it feels, how to do it, and if we trust in the Buddha and have buy-in, this is what we're doing. This is the practice. Learning how to bring wise attention to whatever is arising, whatever is happening. I think you could say succinctly what we're doing when we're taking up a spiritual practice, when we're deciding to follow the Buddha's teachings, when we take up a meditation practice, what we are signing up for is that we will begin to accept reality. We're embarking on getting in step with reality, not doing all the things that we do. And this is what you start to see when you begin to meditate. You start to see all the ways that we resist reality. And by reality, I mean everything. We resist aspects of our own hearts and minds. We resist aspects of other people. We want them to change. We resist. We fight. We contort. We control. We manipulate. We deny. We like fog out. We do so many things. And the list just goes on and on and on. And these are our defilements. These are the things that cause all of our problems. They arise here. We think it's reality and we think it's coming from outside, but it's not. It's our relationship with reality. And the Buddha's teaching is teaching us how to come into a beautiful relationship with reality, where reality doesn't need to be different. It is what it is. And it's so realistic. The Buddhist teachings are so realistic because we can't do anything about reality. Reality is reality. It is what it is. And we all, if we get honest, we all have that 3-year-old inside that's throwing a tantrum in the aisle of the grocery store because they're not getting their Mars bar, they're not getting their Smarties packet, or their Kinder Surprise. That's Kinder Surprise. I can't believe they're still around. They were around when my kids were little. It was a long time ago. Yeah, we do. We pretend that we don't, but we do. We all are throwing tantrums inside. Sometimes several times a day. Yeah, and I'll prove it. And I think road rage proves it. Like people just lose it in their cars. And why is this? Somehow culturally, we're letting ourselves be toddlers behind the wheel. Like that's somehow begun to be okay, acceptable. And I think it's because you're got this anonymity, and then you're also in this incredible steel machine, right? Like, and you just lose it. And this is just an example of the ways that we're not taking care of what's inside. And the way that we do that is through this wise attention. And like I said, invariably, we start to see all the ways that we are fighting. And the two big forces, the two big ways that we are not in good relationship with reality are our craving and our aversion. And that's why in the beautiful mind, this non-greed, it's the opposite of craving, and this non-ill will are paramount. And the Buddha gives two very, very beautiful similes for this process of coming to learning to be honest about what is actually in there and going on, and moving it towards something more useful and something much more beautiful, this non-greed and non-ill will. The Buddha gives these two similes of cleaning a dirty cloth and purifying gold. And, and a few times in the suttas, he uses both of these images. And the similes are they're very powerful. They capture something in a way that is tangible and that we can really relate to. And so the simile of the cloth and the gold gets mentioned in the middle length discourses, sutta number 7. It's actually called the simile of the cloth, that sutta, and also a very beautiful sutta in the numerical discourses in chapter 3, sutta 101. It's actually titled the soil remover. And very, very beautiful. The Buddha talks about these gross defilements, these gross ways that we're fighting against reality. And those are where we're acting out, and most of us are not dealing with this now. We're not getting drunk, and we're not, embezzling funds from where we were. I mean, hopefully, prayerfully, trustfully, we're not doing these things. These are the gross defilements. And then the Buddha describes these middling defilements. And this is where many of us are. This is the wandering mind, and this is the mind that isn't cultivating or being very successful at cultivating and tapping into this non-greed and this non-ill will. And then the Buddha starts to describe these subtle defilements. And when the mind gets much more still, and when the mind is beginning to really get unified, and things are changing, the way that you're perceiving your body and the way that you're very, very few thoughts. That when we get into this territory of meditation, there's still these subtle things that are holding us controlled or separate or fearful or back from just unifying, just fully deepening. So this I want to now, so that was kind of the introduction. I would like to talk about non-greed and like try and get practical. How do we do this? And I want to say 3 things about non-greed in meditation, and it a little bit this not really the gross, but this middling and subtle. So I think the first thing about non-greed is just knowing this. Oh, I don't always just need to lead in my meditation with mindfulness. I have there are other tools that I can use. So mindfulness needs to be there. We need to be remembering we're meditating, remembering our meditation object. But you can also highlight, focus in on, zero in on non-greed. And how do we do that? Okay, greed is a perception of lack. It's a feeling of uh, it springs from a feeling of dissatisfaction in some way. So one way to highlight non-greed in our meditation is to do the opposite. Think about the completeness of it, the completeness of this moment, the completeness of this breath, and just fill yourself with the meditation object. And the mind will follow. Just even say, enough, or non-greed, or nothing needs to be different. You become so peaceful, even if it's, not exactly what you were thinking it was going to be or wanting to be. You can stop thinking about that and zero in on it is what it is, and here I am. And for many of us that live busy lives, just even that, like, oh, no emails, like you think that, no text messages, even that, it just is an uplift, right? Like I get a break. I Sangamita talks about, for her, the breath. She just twigged one day, oh, this is that beach holiday that we would work so hard for and pay all this money and then burn all this fossil fuel. No, there you are, right there. The waves, the breath in, the breath out. You're on your beach holiday. You're getting a break. This is enough. This is full. This is complete. This is beautiful. This is peaceful. This is relaxing. This is a way to focus on non-greed. Um, you know, parents, parents, especially of little children, right? Like there are no kids, like no emails, no texts, no children. Here I am, so peaceful. My daughter has two young children, and she showed me this meme on, like, I think I don't even know what these things are, but I don't actually know what a meme is, but she said that's what it was. Anyway, it was just a slide with a caption. And the picture was this, it was truly clearly upstairs in a house, in the hallway, and then this door that was closed. And there were like three little kids and a cat and a dog, all in like this semicircle at the door. And the caption was, all she wanted was a few minutes to herself. This collection of beings, young beings that she's responsible for, are all just, I mean, anyone that's a parent knows, right? For a time, you don't even go to the bathroom alone, right? You just, oh, hi, what do you, hi, mom. Yeah. So when you can focus in on just the fullness and the completeness, and consciously bring yourself to peace with whatever it is. Focus in on that. Second thing I want to say about this, how do we use this teaching in our meditation of non-greed? Another way to zero in on this mental factor that is part of the beautiful mind, part of the wholesome mind, is when the mind, the attention does wander off the meditation object, you bring it, sati kicks in, this remembering. Oh, wait. It doesn't matter how long you've been gone. You come back to the meditation object, and now you can zero in on the non-greed. Now you can consciously experience the peace that's there when you bring the meditation back on track, and when you come back to the breath and realize, oh, this is more easeful, this is more simple. It's much more simple. It's more easeful. It's more relaxed than when the mind is wandering. And this is a wonderful. It's subtle, but it's a very, very wonderful aspect of our training of our attention to start to practice, because what you're doing, first of all, you're countering a lot of our conditioning, which is focusing on the error, focusing on the mistake, focusing on the not getting it right. No, I am getting it right. That I'm training the mind, and here I am, and I'm with the meditation object, and you're you're sort of enticing the mind, that enticing the attention, to teaching it that, oh, this is, it's simple, it's subtle, but it's lovely, it's peaceful, it's easeful, it's straightforward. And some meditation teachers even uh, instruct their students to actually consciously, deliberately, like put a note into the mind stream, into the attention of relax at that moment when you come back to your meditation object. Because invariably, when we're thinking, we're so not tuned into this because it's so steady state. But anytime we're thinking, there is tension uh, accumulating in the mind body system, in the nervous system. And so when the attention comes back to the meditation object, just let go of whatever got accumulated. Just relax. And this is also it's countering our negativity bias. It's turning everything to the positive. There's so many skills that happen with how we handle the return to the meditation object. The third thing I want to say about this highlighting, zeroing in on, learning about non-greed in our meditation is when we are, very often for many of us, when we're with our meditation object more and more and more, we do experience this peacefulness, this easefulness, it's delicious, because it's almost like we're detoxing, from all the impingement and the overstimulation and the multitasking and the too much. It's going in the opposite direction. And then we can start to often experience, or start to realize that there are more subtle defilements that are in our minds. And one that kills our meditation, and that basically every Westerner meditator is going to have to deal with, is this subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, wanting something from the meditation. This is the counter of non-greed. And non-greed can make this right, bring this into right relationship. To start, when you're with your meditation object for a time, often you'll be able to sense and feel in your body, or see again. We have to deal with our wanting at every step of our meditation. So initially, we just want to be with our meditation object, and then often when we are able to be with our meditation object, then we realize, oh, we want something from our meditation object. This more subtle wanting, and we must purify this. We must counter it with non-greed, and realize that we cannot bring our worldly conditioning of wanting into our meditation object, into our meditation, into our relationship with our meditation object. We can't be treating our breath as a means to an end. Like I want a blissful state. I want a deeper meditation. I want my meditation to go deeper. All of us will have to purify our minds of this. Invariably, it's there because we've operated. It's a habit energy. We've operated from wanting this unacknowledged, unconscious wanting steady state. So of course it's there, and we need to be honest and realize it's just conditioning. It's a habit energy, and bring all of your best relational skills into your meditation. I personally think this can be easier for people that have been parents, to be honest, because this is a relationship where you've done a lot of giving and a lot of sacrificing, and know how to do this. You know how to be in a relationship where you're doing most of the giving, and that's our meditation experience. We're having a relationship with our meditation object, but we are doing all of the emotional work, and it's a relationship of giving. We're giving our energy, we're giving our attention, we're giving our time, we're giving our trust, we're giving our love to our meditation object. So, non-greed, and a way to zero in on it and use it in your meditation practice. The second quality, this beautiful collection of beautiful mental factors that I wanted to speak about today, is non-ill will. And this is like non-greed and non-ill will. If we can start to work with these and understand these and feel them, this will help us so much in our lives. These two forces they're very problematic, and they are rooted in delusion. Delusion, very hard to see, but actually greed and aversion are not that hard to see, and they're rooted in and growing out of delusion. And these three unwholesome roots, greed, aversion, and delusion. The delusion is that we're a self. This is the delusion, and this takes at every step of enlightenment. We're cutting away at this delusion at a deeper and a deeper level, and until it's fully eradicated, this craving and aversion pretty much will be there. And that's because we have this delusion of a self, and the craving and the aversion they're linked to our biology. They're keeping us alive. So we must figure out how to counter them with this non-greed and non-aversion, non-aversion, non-ill will. And this is something that this working with aversion, working with ill will, this is something that I think it's hard to get some really clear teachings about this in some ways. And then you read the suttas and you read the 4 right efforts, and it sounds like we're supposed to just obliterate ill will whenever it arises. And I think that this is a conundrum, because this puts us back. If ill will is there, and then I'm supposed to just obliterate it, we're back into this fighting reality. So actually, and I've wanted to talk about this, and Virginia said something yesterday, and it's like, oh, that's so helpful. She talked about learning to and understanding, oh, I have to bring wholesome wholesome qualities to the unwholesome qualities that are there. And this is the key in working with non-ill will. Because lots of times, so much of the time, ill will is there. And we have to not we have to not hate the ill will. We have to not respond to the ill will with more ill will, which is such our habit energy. The ill will in ourselves and the ill will in others. The ill will just breeds ill will. I mean, everything just breeds more of itself, which is bad news and great news. Like the more I get wholesome momentum of wholesome mind states, what is the proximate cause of mindfulness? Mindfulness. And so yeah, we want and this is the wise attention. We want to bring wholesome mind states, wholesome qualities to unwholesome qualities when they're there. So we want to not hate our ill will. We want to come into good relationship. This is coming into good relationship with reality. Just again, like a child that's acting out, if we resist that and get frustrated by that, get impatient by that, it just escalates. If we are resourced and we have some wisdom and capacity and can accept that upset in the child and then acknowledge it and then work with it, it will be a good outcome. It's the same with our own ill will. We have to learn this skill of like, oof, I'm upset. So I need to bring love. I need to bring patience. I need to bring curiosity. We can use words like welcome. And this is Beth Upton, our meditation teacher. She uses this word all the time. And then I see her doing it with students. It's always welcome. Whatever's there. We first order, first line, first tool, welcome. It's crazy, but I mean, we allow it to be there. And as if me giving it permission has anything to do with whether it's there or not. But me allowing it, me giving it permission means that I'm starting down the right track of being in a good relationship with this aspect of reality, this aspect of me, this aspect of this moment. And I will say, beginning to welcome difficulty, welcome upset within our own mind body, and to bring care to it. This is the wise attention, and this is the game changer. And my experience in dealing with pain in the body or pain in the psyche, pain in the heart, is when that wholesome quality meets it, when that wise attention is there, psychologically, my experience is it's still painful. There's a lot of pain, but it's like rubbing a sore muscle. Psychologically, it's painful, but it's helpful. This pain, oof, this hurts so much, but it's gonna make it better. It's a very different experience to welcome pain versus resisting pain. And this is such an incredible skill to start to have. And then you start to have some confidence and you start to have some freedom because you're not dependent on pain not being there. Pain is part of life. The Buddha is so clear about that. And if we can learn the skills of coming into good relationship with pain, oof, we are cultivating wisdom. We are cultivating this beautiful mind. And so I'll say that's what I want to say about non-ill will. We want to learn to respond to unwholesome qualities in the mind with a wholesome mind, which is non-ill will. And when non-ill will is dialed up, it becomes metta. It warms up, it expands. And Beth Upton translates metta as acceptance. And she often will say, you accept yourself, you accept what's happening, you accept reality. And then if metta's there, you're saying, and here is my love, just the way you are. You don't need to change. Here is my love. So I'll end there. And